It is Barcelona against Chelsea, leg one, Sunday at 12 noon Eastern. Barcelona is at home, and man, these sides are familiar foes. It will be the third time that Barcelona and Chelsea are meeting in the Champions League semifinals. Third time. It's the fifth time all across all competitions that they're meeting. Barcelona, they take the advantage with 3 wins, 2 of those coming in the semifinal meeting, 1 draw, and then Chelsea picking up just 1 win. For Chelsea, this is the trophy that has eluded this club under Emma Hayes, but now under Sonia Bonpastor, it's a change for them. However, for Barcelona, they've won it 3 times in the last 4 years, including the last 2 campaigns. This seems, Darian, like it is Barcelona's trophy to lose. What is it going to take for Barcelona to three-peat?
They just have to be Barcelona. They have to be really great in the attack, which we know that they are, clinical, we know that they are, but they are vulnerable in the back. That is where Chelsea can hurt them, and that's where Barcelona needs to tighten up. I think they get so confident. I mean, who wouldn't if you were playing on that team? You have majority of possession, you're enjoying the ball, you're playing beautiful football, watching Carolyn Graham-Hansen cook on the side, you're scoring goals. It leaves you so open in the back, though. Everybody on Barcelona goes forward. So I think for Chelsea, those transition moments are going to be huge. On either side of the center backs, those channels are going to be wide open. If you can get on the counter quickly and go at them, which we know that Chelsea can. They have Mayra Ramirez up top. They have Erin Cuthbert, who commands the middle of the pitch, who I think can cause some big tackles, disrupt that Barcelona pace, and really frustrate them. We see those Barcelona players get in their heads, to me, and it kind of kills their spirit when they're met with a lot of physicality and they're not able to be super clean on the ball. And I think Chelsea can provide that. It's just going to be a matter of Chelsea being very, very clinical when they are in front of Barca's goal, because I do think Barcelona is just going to dominate possession.
Jen, what are you looking at for this Barcelona side specifically? I mean, they're coming off of another game in league where they had a lot of rotation. They've been without Mapi Leon. Guys, she was suspended for the last 2 Liga FA matches due to unsportsmanlike conduct with the Espanyol opponent, Daniela Caracuz. But that match was back in February. So Mapi Leon is back in with this Barcelona group. That has to give a lift to them as well, Jen.
For sure. And we talk about rotation. Rotation with the top teams is really common, right? You talk about wealth of depth that these teams have, and Lyon are the exact same. It always kind of does blow my mind a little bit how these teams can dominate domestically so much and, kind of, if I can say it, kind of stroll their league, right? And then the step up to Champions League is huge, but somehow they can do it every single year. But this Barcelona team specifically, I think Mapi Leon coming in, I love watching her play. Like, what a ball player coming out the back and really starts to play for every single Barcelona attack from the back. But no, I think, Darian, again, you're spot on. I think Chelsea will be okay with not having as much possession, knowing that they have players like whoever's on the pitch, whether it's Ramirez, Lauren James, that can go on and change an attack and change the pace of a game, whether sitting in that lower block, ready to go on create the space in behind the Barcelona, because that is where they're vulnerable. 2 players that are going to be so key for that, ex-Barcelona players, Kira Walsh, Lucy Bronze, that have just come from there, so know exactly what the vulnerabilities of this Barcelona team can be. And they'll be filling that dressing room with confidence. They'll be thinking, they're just players. We can go on and do a job. So I think an all-English final, I think, is what the current narrative is back in the UK. And I've no doubt those 2 players I just mentioned, Bronzy, Walsh, they've gone to Chelsea to go and win the Champions League. They've just been there, done it with Barcelona, and they know what it takes to go and beat this side. Can they do it? That is the question. But I think the matchup for me that's going to be so important, I've spoken about her already a couple of times, Erin Cuthbert versus Bonmati. Can you keep her quiet? I think Erin Cuthbert has been unbelievable for Chelsea this season, going on strength to strength. She's a little workhorse in that midfield, and you have to keep players like Bonmati quiet, because we all know how world-class she is and what she can do on a football pitch. So that matchup for me. And of course, Millie Bright, centre-back. She's so comfortable in that position in a low block. She'll be clearing balls left, right, and centre. Can she communicate? Can she command their back line to kind of keep all the distances tight, not letting anything central? But those matchups for me are going to be huge at the weekend.
I love that. Erin Cuthbert's one of those players where I'm like, I wish I got to play with her because the way she tackles, like her intensity she plays with, she's kind of like the unsung hero to me for Chelsea because she doesn't always do the flashiest things, but she does the most important things on the pitch constantly. And she gets in those tackles, she sets the tone, and I feel like that riles Chelsea. That gives them the energy to go forward. But Lisa, I wanted to ask you, where do you think, well, both of you, where on the pitch is this game going to be won and lost for either of these teams?
In the midfield for me, who can control that space centrally, really put their foot on the ball, control the tempo of the game, understand when to move a little bit, especially for Chelsea, right? If they can pull Barcelona out and move quickly in transition, getting behind, it might even kickstart in the back at times with a player like Sandy Baltimore for Chelsea. She's one that is almost a lower radar player, but a role player and a very important one in this game, that if she can have a little bit of creativity and kickstart it, but in the midfield for me, hands down, if you can win those battles, it's going to be a game changer. What did you think, Jen?
I think counterattacks for Chelsea. So I'm talking about the fast pace. That's not an area of the field. Of course, I think midfield's key. But I think if we're talking about, I'd love to talk about a phase of play that I think for Chelsea, counterattacks. When they win the ball back, what can they do with it? Because they might not have the ball for long spells. So those short moments, what can they do? Can they retain it, or can they go and attack and exploit the space in behind for Barcelona? For Barcelona, it's going to be another day at the office with dominating the ball in that sense.
Yeah.
And for them, it's can I get the best players on the ball? Can I get Pates on the ball? Can I get Bonmati on the ball? Can I, can I drag out those Chelsea centre backs? Can I create space in and around the box for opportunities? So for them, it's going to be another tactical challenge that they face a lot in Champions League when they come up against teams that are more defensively solid. So can the forwards drag out Chelsea centre backs? That's going to be the most important thing for them.
This game,
I have to give, sorry, Lisa. I have to give some love to Johnny Epwan in our comments because he put, we were talking about Erin Cuthbert being that player that gets into tackles, he put love McCall tackles, yes, which that makes so much sense because McCall is one of those players too that you're like, oh shit, okay, we're going to war. Erin Cuthbert gives that. Shout out to our girl McCall. I love that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that shout. Thanks, Johnny. Thanks, Dee, for pointing it out. This game, I'm so excited for. I'm so ready for Chelsea Barcelona. I mean, this is for Sonia Bonpastor, her first year leading Chelsea. She's won it as a player. She's won the Champions League as a manager. The next step is winning it for Chelsea and with Chelsea. But before we can even get there, they have to get past Barcelona, and it is going to be a big, tall task for them.
One of the biggest things as well, just to talk about Chelsea a little bit more, is they have this wild way of not necessarily playing the most beautiful football, but winning games. And we've seen that so much in the WSL this season. FA Cup against Liverpool, perfect example. There's extra time goals. They will go down to the wire. And if they're not playing the best football, they find a way to win. And I feel like this game against Barcelona might be similar again. They might not have the opportunities to play the most beautiful football, but they can go out and win the game.
Can they do it dirty? Can Chelsea beat grind and get it done?
1,000,000% yes.
A lot of injuries that Chelsea's been dealing with over the last couple of weeks. Lauren James came back from the international break with a thigh injury or a hamstring injury. So she was out at the weekend. As of right now, we're doing this episode Thursday morning. We don't have an injury update on her, but last we heard from Bonpastor is that James rested at the weekend. She was hopefully going to be back. They're going to medically evaluate her heading into this game. Also, Naomi Girma, she was out last week as well. I mean, she's been out for a while, but latest update coming from last week is that they hoped she would be available for the Barcelona match. So a lot to look forward to for every single fan just of women's football, because man, Chelsea Barcelona is a game. And we can't close this episode and this segment out without game predictions for leg one. You knew it was coming, Darian. Don't give me the
go to Jen
roll.
first. Go to Jen first.
Ooh, we're not gonna get a four-goal thriller again, guys. Like,
yeah.
I think this game will be much tighter. I'm gonna go 1-1. Tighter game.
I'm going to go 2-1, Chelsea.
Nice.
I'm going to go 1-0 Barcelona.
Okay.
I think Chelsea's
Most
going to do it.
games. Most games.
Till the second leg, maybe. We'll see. This game, Barcelona-Chelsea, it is on Sunday at noon.